So welcome back everyone to the afternoon session of the two-day retreat by Bhante Dr. Chandima. And I guess the next session will be the most interesting session over the 2 days, simply because Uncle Vijay is here. I don't need to explain further, right? Okay, the reason why we have Uncle Vijay here is because Bhante planned a dialogue session, and where Uncle Vijay will be the moderator, and Bhante will be the panelist. And the topic of discussion is what Buddhist practices clear bad karma. For those of you who do not know Uncle Vijaya, let me quickly read his profile. It's quite a lengthy one, but I've shortened it. Uncle Vijaya Samarawickrama, or fondly known as Uncle Vijaya, is a respected figure within the Buddhist community, delivering countless inspiring Dhamma talks at universities, schools, and Dhamma centers throughout Malaysia, as well as in Singapore and Australia, spanning 6 decades. In addition to his speaking engagements, he's also the patron of the Sasana Abhivruddhivada Society, which is the Buddhist Maha Vihara, and also served as the chairman of the Nalanda Institute's education team. He has represented Malaysia in various Buddhist conventions and conferences, both locally and internationally, and has authored over a dozen booklets with more than over, I think by now, 250,000 copies distributed worldwide. Well, before his retirement, he has held the position of the senior lecturer at University Technology Malaysia and worked as a lecturer in drama and theatre, in public speaking and world religions at the Taylor's University American Degree Program. And so we are glad to have Uncle Vijay here this afternoon to moderate this session. And of course, we also have Bhante Dr. Chandima, who's going to be a panelist. And Dr. Chandima is the Associate Editor of the Journal of the International Buddhist Studies, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of the Maha Chulalongkorn Raja Vidyalala University in Thailand. He was also previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies on Religion and Society at the University of Victoria in Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also the Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. He's currently the senior advisor of Patisotta, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts weekly online Pali reading classes, sutta discussions, and Dhamma talks, and other Dhamma activities. And Bhante has been with us, I think, for the last 2 months or so, and also conducting our regular Monday night sutta classes, which is very well received. So without much ado, I would now like to hand the mic to Uncle Vijaya to start the moderation for this dialogue session entitled, anyways, dialogue session number 11. There were 10 previous ones. I think the last one was also at the last retreat that Bhante had. I think it was just number 9, if I'm not mistaken. And sorry, the title was called what? And rather, the title is called "What Buddhist Practices Clear Bad Karma."
Bhante, I humbly beg your permission to speak. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. And thank you, Brother Leslie, for that very kind introduction. To be honest with you, I'm really thrilled to be with you here again. I never expected such a huge crowd. And it speaks very well for the popularity of Bhante. Leslie was saying that Bhante has been here for 2 months. Not only here, Bhante has been all around the country serving the Buddhist cause, and for that we thank you. Today, the topic that Bhante has invited me to host is what Buddhist practices clear bad karma. I think we may have to explain why we chose that why Bhante chose that particular topic. Because to go back, as we know, this word karma, has a lot of coinage. It's all over the place. And I think because when this whole concept of Buddhist teachings and all that went from Asia into Europe, one of the words that went along with that was karma. And the explanation of karma was generally very negative. Yeah, usually, even today, when you go to the encyclopedia or dictionary and you look up the word karma, it has a bad connotation from a Christian point of view. Yeah, Buddhists don't see karma necessarily as bad, although a lot of us are guilty of it. I always hear this: when something bad happens to somebody and you go and say sorry, he'll say, "What to do? My bad karma." He blames the karma. But when he gets recovered, he says, "Thank God." So when anything good happens, God gets the credit. When anything bad happens, karma gets the blame. All right? And also, another thing I noticed is, I think this is what Bhante has also noticed, that when we talk about karma, yeah, it's all over the place. And yet, usually we end up describing karma. And we describe karma, and we go to Venerable Narada, we go to Venerable Dhammananda, and we find out how karma is described. But then at the end of the day, I came here not to tell me what karma is, how to run away from it. All right? So Bhante came up with this idea, okay, we are not going to waste too much time, because some of you may be new, maybe you don't know what karma is. We need to be all on the same wavelength. All right? We all must be talking about karma from the same point of view. So I'll invite Bhante to explain to us that aspect of karma, but very quickly. And then from there move on to the main business of the day, which is how to escape the effects of bad karma. See, you come in here and you learn how to gain from it. So what we want you to do is to have a positive experience. A positive experience from learning about karma and how to handle karma. That's what Buddhism is all about. Not to suffer from karma, but to handle karma. And hopefully in the hour that we have, Bhante will explain to you, and I will lead Bhante on with a few questions. And then after that, you will have half an hour to show how confused you are. Okay? No, I don't think so. I think we will be able to hear. Bhante, let's now, thank you, Bhante, again for inviting me to this. Having spoken so much about karma, I would ask you my first question: what is karma? And how to distinguish between what is good karma and what is bad karma. Usually we think in terms of bad karma, but there's good karma and bad karma, and how do they differ from one another, and especially from a Buddhist point of view.
Thank you, Uncle Vijay, for raising this general question at the beginning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's good to be with you again. Karma, as I explained in the morning, karma basically means, from the Buddhist text suttas, Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami, chetayitva kammang karoti, kayena vachaya manasa, nibbedika pariyaya sutta, Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha says, it is not the mere physical action or the speech that is called as karma. It is the intentional, volitional action that is eligible to say that this is a karma. So that is karma. So I mean, in our daily life, we do lots of activities that are probably carrying no intention. But we are trying to be mindful as much as we can. But there are lots of times that we are doing things without intention, so they cannot be taken as karma. But please don't take it as a free pass to harm other people. But that is how the Buddha described karma. At the same time, how to differentiate good karma and bad karma. So now we said about chetana. If chetana is the intention, whatever the activity, speech that you are doing with intention, you may do it with skillful thoughts or unskillful thoughts. That means you may do the karma skillfully or unskillfully. So skillfulness and unskillfulness, or wholesomeness or unwholesomeness. Today morning we learn about how and what are the 10 basic unskillful activities. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, talking behind the back, or maybe bad mouthing, hurting other people with your speech, gossiping plus idle chatting, being covetous, creating strong greed, ill will, and wrong view. These are the bad karma, so akusala activities. So you may make it a karma by willfully, by intentionally executing those activities with those bases. Let's say you do an action with intention of killing someone, a bad karma. You are engaging in action without having the intention of killing somebody, it is called good karma. Right? But causes and conditions can create killing or not killing. It can happen. So good karma is the opposite. So it's basically very basic, intentional action, or maybe volition. We would say, if you bring intention to any of your actions, your speeches, you are creating karma. If not, they are karmaless actions. Karmaless actions. There are lots of karmaless actions that we are doing. So they are not eligible to be called as karmic actions. And say, for instance, when you become an arahant one day, all your actions are karmaless actions. Arahants don't create karma. The moment they became arahants, they go and offer flowers to the Buddha, no karma. Because there is no karma they are making. Actually, we are saying to you to do good karma, but finally we are saying no to karma. When you become an arahant, no to karma. Because then if you don't have karma, you have no gas to survive in the sansaric vehicle. Right? No karma to go in. So Buddha said one day you are going to get over punya, good karma, and papa. Punya papa pahi nasa natti jaga ratu bayang. Enlightened folks are, they have already overcome good karma, bad karma, no fear, no sorrow. But we are still unenlightened beings, so we have to create good karma till we get to the Nibbana. Because we need to become wholesome, comfortable, healthy. But when we achieve Nibbana, we don't even need karma. So that is the way how we look at it.
So Bhante, what is the practical value of knowing this, that there is good karma and bad karma?
Yeah. Then
how can I use it?
Yeah, practical value is that how we going to internalize in our daily life is that we understand till we get to the at least Sotapanna level, we must have adequately created good karmas. Because let's say you are becoming a very poor person, very unhealthy person. At that point, you cannot practice Dhamma. Because you are having a lot of problems to survive in this human life, in this sansara. So that means we need some good karmas to survive till we attain Nibbana, till we at least to get to the point of Saddhanusari, Dhammanusari, the pre-Sotapanna levels. So we need good karmas.
So how would I know that this is good and this is bad?
Understanding 10 kusalas and 10 akusalas. So first we have to understand what are the 10 kusalas, what are the 10 akusalas. The Buddha clearly given that in Saliyaka Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. So clearly a standardized set of kusala and akusala. When you know them, the more you know them, the more you engage in the kusala activities, good karma. The less you know, then the more you engage in the bad activities, karmas. So I think it's rather than we only talk about good karma, bad karma, we must know what they are exactly are.
Absolutely. My next question, why do we need to meet like this to learn about? It's not natural to us to know what is good and bad. We need to learn the pariyati.
Yeah. So even today morning, I explained to all of you that this is the first kusala, second kusala, third, fourth, fifth, sixth until 10. And I said the opposite is the akusala. So when you have to study them one by one. Say for instance, these are carrying some paradoxes. All these kusalas are carrying paradoxes. That means you see one way it is good, other way it might be good too. On one way it is bad, good way also looking bad. So then you have to personally understand, say for instance, killing, not killing. How do I clearly stay on to this not killing practice? It can be a bit challenging. Say for instance, how to get rid of all these tiny creatures in your house. I expect to them, mosquitoes and all these tiny creatures, pest. What I'm gonna do? And then how do I take antibiotics? Medications for killing some, certain viruses, bacteria. If they are bacteria, if they are virus, they carry a certain microorganism. So how do I look at them? Is it I have to kill the virus to become healthy? What is more important? I want to be healthier, right? So you are looking at a greater, larger purpose. Say, for instance, the guinea pig concept in the scientific labs. So they are killing cockroaches, rats to save millions, billions of lives later. So are we supposed to look at the larger, broader picture sometimes? If you are not a part of that kind of thing. Say, for instance, there is a soldier, police officer, immigration officer, custom officer. They have to work with certain bad guys, human traffickers. Probably they may have to use extra force at that point. Some would be killed in the actions. So can a Buddhist become a soldier? Can a Buddhist become a police officer? Commando. So how do these things work to us? There are paradoxes. So the importance of learning each kusala is very essential. Then only you know how to stay on to the good karmas. Otherwise, if you learn it merely, not killing, you can't do anything. You can't even turn to this side. Yeah. Right? You are so troubled by these precepts and these activities. So you need to study slowly, personally, socially, under the suttas, maybe learned monks, speakers. That's why you are here. So these are important to study.
The onus is on us to understand both sides.
So because if you don't do that, finally, everything will have to be borne out by you.
Yeah.
Kammassa komi, kamma dayado, kamma bandhu. Kamma is our relative, kamma is my mother, kamma is my father, kamma is what is taken from this life to the next life, kamma is what I'm going to exhaust when I attain Nibbana. So if you don't do that, you will have to pay a big cost in the samsara. I think it's very important to study each of these good karma.
So basically, Bhante, you have sort of hinted that we can now not be slaves to our wrong understanding of karma, but with an intelligent understanding of karma, we can cope with the challenges of this samsaric world.
Yeah, of course. Actually, you nailed it at the beginning. Don't become a slave to karma. Manage your karma. Manage your karma. You can use the karma. Not karma uses you, trouble you. Yeah.
To what extent are our current experiences influenced by the karma we accumulated in the past life and in previous lives, this life and in the previous life?
Very interesting question. Two answers, one from the suttas, other one from Abhidhamma. So Theravada is Abhidhamma, suttas are from early Buddhism. We have to separate this out. We know when you study Buddhism scholarly, you understand that early Buddhism is non-sectarian. There's no Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. Then when it becomes a part of Abhidhamma, it is Theravada version, and then so on and so forth. In early Buddhism, the Buddha said in a couple of suttas that I want to dispel three types of misunderstandings with regard to the karma. One is there is a sort of conception that people think all what we go through come from a superior God. In Pali we call Issara Nimmana Hetuvada. Issara Nimmana Hetuvātami. There is a almighty so-called God who gives us rewards and then punishment. Buddha said, no, I dispel that. Number two is that everything that we go through comes from previous lives. Buddha said, no, majority comes from, but not everything.
So we are not victims of our past.
We are not victims by default, but people make themselves victims of their of their so-called imagined karmas. Third one is ahetuka appacchevada. It's also a misunderstanding. Some people think things happen abruptly, very randomly, by chance. Buddha said some stuff can happen random, but not everything. So the Buddhist understanding about, especially Sutta understanding about karma is not everything that we experience come from past karma. So say for instance in the Sivaka Sutta, Buddha says, you are going to operate, you are going to stretch out your arms, flex your arms in the wrong way. Okay, in the wrong way. Say for instance, you are going to lift a certain box, very heavy box, but in the wrong way, wrong posture. Then you are getting issues with that heavy lifting at the end, maybe back pain, whatever the pain. Then you may come up with a thought like you said, oh, my bad karma, I think I might have broken somebody's back in a past life, right? And the Buddha said, no, it's not. It's not that kind of thing. It is what we call Visama Pariharaja Abada, maybe Opakkamika Abada. That means people create their own pain by wrongly functioning their body. This is one thing, right? So there are many other things that people misunderstand to have come from past karmas. But there are certain past karmas, like say for instance, someone is going to be blind by birth. Someone is going to be deaf by birth. Someone is going to carry a certain sickness. I don't want to name them, you call them. They may come from your past life, but not everything comes from past life. So this is from the Sutta side. Abhidhamma side, they have a different view. They say even your bad mood daily can come from the past life. They say ahetuka chitta. In the chitta classification, they say even let's say all of a sudden you become very moody. You are supposed to be good. Everything is good. Day is good, good weather, good people, good food, comfort zone. But you suddenly become very not happy about something. Why is it? Abhidhamma says this is a rootless past karma affecting you. So I think we don't have to go to Abhidhamma to say that everything is controlled by past karma. But in suttas, we understand not everything happens from past life. So we can do a lot of things to change this experience. Even when you are going through a crisis problem, you can change that situation. So we are not troubled by past karmas all the time. Sometimes it depends on certain people. So there's no such thing called that everything happens due to past karma. It is a misunderstanding.
Bhante, do the niyamas also point to what you are saying? But what I mean is karma is only one of the activities of the universe.
Niyama teaching comes from Abhidhamma. Niyama means, in Abhidhamma they say that everything that happens to us comes from 5 channels. One is Utuniyama. Let's say you go to a cold country this time. Let's say you go to North America at this time. Then you know that fall is going to finish, almost winter has started. Then you are thinking, it's so cold, maybe I have done a bad karma to experience this cold. It is you who decided to go there at this time. You could have avoided this early winter time, right? Sometimes, say for instance, a volcanic eruption. You're going to be a part of that disaster in another country. So all the natural phenomena that come from weather backgrounds, other things, they are not coming from bad karma. They are coming from something called Utuniyama, universal law, which is regarding the natural phenomena. Second is Bija Niyama. What about the germination? about a plant. When there is a plant, it is slowly growing or fastly growing. You see the fruits, other things. Is this happening from good karma, bad karma? No, it is the process of inorganic behavior, right? So this is called bija niyama. It has no weight about karma. Second, third is kamma niyama. Yes, there is a great portion of things that come from past life too. Now say for instance you all come down here, you sat down, you want to listen to Dhamma. I don't think this journey must have started from this life. You may have started from another life, right? You must have started this Dhamma journey from another life. But when the right conditions arise, you are naturally there in that retreat, in that Dhamma talk. You want to learn. So Kamma niyama affects, but not everything. Then the fourth one is what you call chitta niyama, dynamics of our thoughts, mind. Sometimes there is a very good person, but going to do a bad karma. Right? What are these changes? They are happening because of the inherent nature of our thoughts. Changes with regard to the thought. Finally, Dhamma niyama. Why are we going to die? Is it because of my bad karma? No, we are supposed to die. But XYZ details about when, where, how, they come from my karma. They may come from my karma. Maybe my other activities too. Let's say you are going to be a heavy smoker. It's not your karma, but you are addicted to smoking every day. So you are shortening your lifetime just because of your smoking. That has no bearing about past karma. But sometimes past karmas create you to die. So Dhamma niyama. Rebirth, aging, then getting sick, then dying. These are part of Dhamma niyama, not Kamma niyama. But XYZ details, the true, correct particularities about when, how, and XYZ things, they are happening because of your own karma, or maybe you are creating activities. So Kamma, what you call niyama teaching also tells us not everything comes from karma.
So it's very, very complex and not a simple one-to-one. Because of our education background and so on, we think in terms of cause and effect. 1 equals 1. But I think
no, it is non-linear. It's not linear. Let me tell you, sometimes it is said 2-3 niyamas cause us to experience a bad karma. Say for instance, a flight is going to crash in the air. What karma is this? Collective karma. 300, 400 people got together, did something wrong. Something like that. So then what is that? Is it utuniyama? Sometimes 500 people die from a tsunami all of a sudden. There was no tsunami alerts before. Why is it? Can we only put it as utuniyama? No. Maybe utuniyama, kamma niyama together. So there are hybrid niyamas working sometimes. So karma, as you said, cannot be linear. It does not happen like, as you said, 1 + 1, 2. It's very different the way how the maturity of karma works. Nobody knows how karma is going to be mature. But when it is mature, you know how bad is it. You know how strong is it. So, but just because we don't know the maturity, it doesn't prevent us from doing good things. I think we can discuss more about this later.
Yeah, later. Is it possible, I think we are there now. Is it possible to change my bad karma, and how can we effectively reshape our personal characteristics? Is it?
Yes and no. It's a mixed
narrative.
That one can, but the first one you said, can we neutralize? Yes and no.
Yeah.
It is not the karma itself. It is the person too. It is the person too. Because I think in the morning I already explained to you, someone who has developed some level of sila, good discipline, someone who has developed samadhi, concentration by practicing meditation and all that, someone at the same time who has developed panya, wisdom to a certain extent, is going to enjoy or maybe experience a bad karma. As I said earlier, there are two people, person A, person B. Person A has a practice of Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Person B has no practice of Sila, Samadhi, Panya. But both do the gossiping. They gossip, let's say, both gossip. Simple example. But the one, they are not supposed to gossip. We understand it's not nice, it's not good, not nice to others, not nice to our personal life, spiritual life, Dhamma journey. But let's say out of this absent-mindedness that the person A who has a certain practice of Sila, Samadhi, Panya is to gossip, he or she is having a less impact from that actions because she has already entered into the Sila, Samadhi practice. But the one who is not practicing any of these things, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, is going to have the full effect of that bad gossiping, bad karma.
But isn't that bad person's bad karma that he has no opportunity to learn about this way of looking at karma? Isn't it his bad karma?
Yeah, so person B has had no knowledge about what is this. Yeah. Probably he has no understanding about gossiping is bad.
Yeah, so we can't blame him for it.
Socially we can't blame him, but karma blames him. That's why he has to go through that. Yeah. Socially it's okay. So, law-wise it's okay, but karma-wise it's gonna be a big time for him, for him or her.
So we need to work to be born in circumstances where we can come into contact with the Dhamma.
Not even that exposure, but also steady practice, steady, consistent Dhamma practice. I think all of you practice, maybe on and off, seldom, sometimes probably once a week, maybe once a month. I think this is steady practice. Consistent practice is the best way to counteract these karmic attacks. Yes.
Little by little.
Little by.
Yeah. If changing or clearing or adjusting bad karma is possible, what specific Buddhist practices can I incorporate into my life to mitigate bad karma? I think this is a pokok bicara lah. Pokok bicara means the essence of our discussion. Yeah, what can I do? Yeah, what can Bhante teach us to do to escape these effects?
I think I haven't answered the rest of the question. Second part of the previous question, what was it?
Yes. Part is, what specific Buddhist practices can I...
No, not this one, previous one.
How can we effectively reshape our personal narrative?
Yes, by steadily practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Because Noble Eightfold Path is included in the Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Panya, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. That is the only and best way to work with the whatever the karmas. The karmas we did in the past, we don't know. Karmas we did now, in this life, we know a little bit. You don't need to go and dig them again and again to feel very bad about them. So do more good karmas to work with them. So you have to work with them. It's like you are going to work with challenging people in your household. Sometimes you have to work with, you cannot avoid them. They are in the house, maybe your loved ones. You cannot avoid them sometimes.
Even the workplace.
Workplace, you cannot change the job, careers, just because one person in the workplace. So you have to work with them. What could be the best approach to work with these people? In the same way, we have to work with our own karma, known karma, unknown karma. So yes, we can rewrite our story. It is possible. How to rewrite our story? Now say for instance, someone thinks that I cannot practice Dhamma. I cannot meditate. Simple example. Then when other people ask, why you cannot meditate? No, I have to sit down and stay longer, many hours. Why you are bothered by timing? Why you are bothered by how long that you have to be on the cushion? You don't have to. Then a good Samaritan is going to arising at that point. Maybe a monk or a Dhamma speaker saying, no need. Meditation is not just a cushion practice only. Most of the meditations happen off the cushion. Everything is a meditation. When you talk, talk with mindfulness. Filter out what you talk. When you stand with metta, as I said earlier. When you walk with metta, tittang charang. When you sit down, sit with metta. When you lie down with metta. Everything will become a meditation. So why then that person has to think that meditation must be an experience of sitting down all the time? So at that point, she thinks, I found my way to practice my own meditation. You rewrite your story. But there are certain things some people may not be able to recover, like somebody who is bornly blind. Someone may have a sickness. But even the sickness, that person can practice some of the teachings of the Buddha. Say for instance, anatta concept. Anatta means not self. When you practice anatta and anicca, you will understand your own pain. This is a fleeting, transient pain that is not always happening. So there are answers, solutions, but the problem is right person should appear in their life to teach this.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they are in a very lifelong sansaric struggle.
Yeah, a lot of people, they read books and they get the wrong understanding and they go in the wrong direction. That's very, very dangerous, isn't it? Isn't it very necessary to have a competent teacher?
Teacher must appear.
What if he doesn't? That's the problem.
That's the problem. That means you haven't done enough good karmas to find a teacher. So anyways.
We must pray hard to be born in Malaysia again with all its problems.
And on the other side is the karma violence. We have to be very careful. There may be a crippled person who cannot walk. And you are always bothered by good karma, bad karma. Look that person. Must have done a bad karma. He broken somebody's legs in a past life. That's why he's a cripple now. She's a cripple. So we are not using karma to insult anybody. Rather consciously understand, help out those people. Give lots of kindness to these people. Help out these people. Say for instance, a young mother who got ADHD or autistic children. She used to think that I'm going to help out an autistic place. I want to go and help out. Even in my next life, may I have children with this kind of disorders. So that you can think about. So karma violence should not be encouraged. That means we understand our own karma, but as you said, we shouldn't be a slave to our bad karma. I think you already asked the question, what practices we can do to mitigate and neutralize our bad karma. As I said, Noble Eightfold Path. So lots of sila, lots of samadhi, lots of panya. Then you might be a little bit complicated in this saying, because you might not know what particular practices should I bring forth. You might also be wondering, where is dana? Offering dana, a part of this sila, samadhi, panya. Where is dana actually? Then we have to go to the Noble Eightfold Path. Where is dana mentioned in the Noble Eightfold Path? Is it sammaditthi or samma sankappa, right view or right intention? Or where is it a part of? Right action. Dana, giving dana is not part of right action. You might see it as an action. Dana is a part of right view, sammaditthi. Because that means not the action is the most important part. Why you give dana, that part is the most important. Not just that somebody takes you to Vihara and hey, give dana, that is Buddhism. That could be the initial step. But later on, later on, you are going to imbibe that person. Why? Why? Because this is a part of sammaditthi. The Buddha said sammaditthi has 10 things to do. Believing in small dana, large dana, believing in good karma, bad karma, giving a special position to your mother. My mother is a special person in my life. Atti mata, atti pita. My father is a special person. Spontaneous beings, opapatika satta, those who are reborn without the connection of a mother-father, they exist. Even Deva, ghosts, all these people. So there are 10 things.
Sorry, Bhante, can you please repeat that. I think it's very important because we haven't had, it hasn't been explained to us, carefully.
Interesting. Okay. So there are 10 things that we have to bring to our views, our attitudes. There are 10 things. One of this is giving dana. So it's an attitude at the beginning, in the first place. It's not an action yet. It's an attitude. So why we give dana? It's a purifier of our views. A purifier. These days we have lots of purifiers, air purifiers, everything. So it's the basic purifier of our views. It must get into our views. So giving a small offering, sometimes you cannot afford to give a very large dana. At that point, even give a small dana with great intentions. Okay? You can do that.
And that kills our ego, our greed and so on. Is that right?
It is. It is at the same time, you are creating lots of wisdom at that point as a part of panya, the samma ditti and samma sankappa. So now we are talking about the practices to do to clear bad karma, said Noble Eightfold Path. And it said it comes as panya, sila, samadhi, panya. Now we are discussing panya part, sammadhi. Then whenever your views are purified with these 10 things, and then what happens, your intentions, your thoughts that are naturally coming out going to be wholesome, naturally wholesome. You don't need to put lots of effort. But nowadays, by now, you may think that you have to challenge a lot to yourself to become better people. When you have the right view with these 10 sections, you are naturally having wholesome thoughts. Whatever the thoughts that are coming out, say for instance, you have thoughts of not killing other people, taking care of other people. You have thoughts of not harassing, bullying other people. You have thoughts of renunciation. They are naturally coming out, not with lots of effort. By default, you are coming up with lots of natural thoughts. I think it's a good thing. Otherwise, you have to pressurize you a lot from the morning. I have to be. Then that pressurization can give you stress. What if that you end up with stress in doing good things? Dana sila bhavana. It's not nice. It's not good too. Right? So then they are naturally coming. I mean the second factor in the Noble Eightfold Path. Then what happens? You are approaching the sila part. Sila, discipline part. Samma vacha. Now, whatever the words that are coming out of your speech, gonna be wholesome. No need extra effort. You talk truthful speech. You are always talking to bring people together, unite people, not to separate people away, like politicians sometimes. Not to separate, to bring together, unite people, to keep the happiness to work along. And then you are talking to anyone with lots of pleasantness, lots of kindness. Kind words are coming out. Sometimes you may have begged other people, loved ones, please talk to me nicely, kindly. You are hurting me every day, since morning to evening.
Consciously or unconsciously?
It might work in both ways. But finally the output is hurting. They might say, no, I did not say those words with intention, that much but it is happening. So then, if it is, regardless of it comes from intention or intention, we have to create a conscious effort not to talk those words. Then, last good one is that whatever the speeches that are coming out of your mouth, they're going to be beneficial, virtuously beneficial talks. You are not wasting any moment of your day for unnecessary things, unnecessary activities. We need time to practice Dhamma. Sometimes you learn 7 days, 1 month of Dhamma, but no time to practice. You might create time. I think nowadays another problem is no time to practice Dhamma. You have a lot of time to learn Dhamma. You don't give, let's say, one Dhamma talk. You should take at least a couple of days to practice that Dhamma talk. So say, for instance, you listen to 5 Dhamma talks once a week. How long are you going to leave to practice those 5 Dhamma talks? Oh, Dhamma coming here and going from here. right? So you have to create time for that practice. So you are trying to create lots of virtual speech and graciously spending every bit of moment of your time with those speeches. So that is Sila part. So in this way, you are slowly creating progress with regard to Noble Eightfold Path. On the other hand, you are clearing bad karma. You are mitigating, neutralizing the heavy part of bad karma you may have been doing in the past life. I want to add one other thing. Think about someone who is human and blind. In Abhidhamma, it says that Janaka Kamma is another Pali word. Janaka means generative karma. When you pass away, how are the karmas are going to take effect? They talk about the 4 process. The first, the generative karma, regenerative karma takes effect. That is the karma that you are born with. Say for instance, why you are humans. That means if you look at your past life, the most powerful karma made you become as such. That's why you became humans in this life. Then what happened to the other karmas? There are certain other karmas. They say habitual karmas. Whatever the things you did in your daily life, then they're going to take effect. So in this way, there is a process of karma going to take effect, but we don't know precisely which karma will be part of it, but there is a process. So just to make you happy, that definitely you can clear lots of bad karmas by properly practicing this Noble Eightfold Path, slowly, gradually.
Developing habitual karma. Is that what you're saying?
I said about what is happening now, they are mostly coming from generation karma. Now, say for instance, that example, someone who was a human, who became a human, all of a sudden blind. Why is it? Generative karma made him her a human, but the habitual karma made him or her a blind person. So that means on one side, you are carrying lots of heavy karmas, then there are counter actions are happening through bad karmas. So then the thing is, you must have done a lot of weighty, strong karmas. You have to carry them from this life forward. Then what happens? Other small karmas will be defunct, void. They will be void. They won't be realized. You can make them not realize. You can make them not materialize by creating lots of heavy good karma, not normal karma, heavy good karma. What are the heavy good karmas? Noble Eightfold Path. They are the heaviest, the strongest good karmas.
Whose good karma is it to ask the first question?
Okay,
good afternoon, Bhante and Dr. Vijaya.
Uncle
Vijaya. Okay, Bhante, after Bhante taught us the 10 kusala deeds, so it means that for us, we are working, we don't have much time because most of the time is on our office work and traveling. So we need to prioritize our kusala deeds. And so that it means that we don't need to, is it not necessary, if we got no time, then we have to prioritize it. So it means that we can do kusala in our daily activities, not necessarily have to come to temple and do food offering because it takes more time because we need to prepare food and drive all the way to the temple. But like us, very busy, then we prioritize things every day in our daily activities. We do a kusala deeds, like maybe we instill the Brahma Vihara, give kindness, friendliness to the people that we associate with. May I have your thought, Bhante? Thank you.
Pretty straightforward question, and I think I want to take it a little differently. Now, I said after listening to a Dhamma talk, maybe participating in a retreat, you must take time to reflect and practice. Not that keep going, listening. Because it helps you to navigate your Dhamma journey. So that's important. But not having normal time to go to a vihara, and then having lots of private time to prioritize Dhamma thing is not an excuse. You can make your work activities, other activities, you're traveling, a part of Dhamma. Say for instance, you are let's say you are traveling to different places. In that traveling, you can understand what is this traveling like, how to bring about the anicca concept, changes. Normally people take anicca to be as a very abusive word. Anicca is one of the abusive words, like karma. They abuse karma. They abuse anicca before they abuse other people. Because they think anicca means all the bad changes. No, anicca means good changes too. What if that you are passing an exam, you are getting a promotion, somebody compliments you, somebody who never complimented you, suddenly going to compliment you. There are changes. And other changes, we have to incorporate good, bad, all changes into anicca. So when you are traveling, you see changes are happening in that traveling. At work, how many people are changing morning to evening when you are working with other colleagues at work? Sometimes they are nice to you, sometimes they are not nice to you, kind to you, sometimes they are cooperating with you, sometimes not, sometimes they have tiny small politics going here and there. So you are bringing Dhamma to understand what is happening to me, what has happened to me, what are happening to them. How do I understand this larger, broader problem matter in my workplace in a nice way? Then you are bringing Dhamma to work. Working, practicing Dhamma, working, practicing Dhamma simultaneously. Not necessarily you have to stop working and come to temple, which is going to be an impractical thing. But whenever you have time, come here to any temple and then practice. But there's no problem to practice Dhamma with other activities. There's a bearing on everything. Because in the Metta Sutta, Buddha says, Appa Kiccho is a quality that you have to practice. Appa Kicchu. Remember? What is Appa Kiccho? Appa Kiccho means we all are busy. But we have to create time for the necessary stuff, necessary things. A lot of problems in household may come from in not paying attention to your loved ones. You don't even think about me. You don't spend time with me. Why is it? You are not creating time for the necessary things. You could have, but you had not. So we can create time. If we cannot create time for Dhamma particularly, then we can make that particular activity as a part of Dhamma practice. So it's possible.
Bhante, this morning you mentioned a phrase, laziness in thoughts. Can you please elaborate?
Interesting. Laziness in thoughts and mental factors, chitta, cetasika. In Pali we understand chitta, they are the dynamics. What is the chitta? The power to think, the power to cognize, right? The power to cognize. But where are the quality part, consistency part coming from to the thought? Let's say I am coming up with a dana thought. Then my dynamic with regard to the thought is I am making that happen. But where is the quality of dana thought coming from? Cetasika. Chitta, cetasika. So in Pali teachings they say chitta, cetasika arise together, stay together, perish together, take the same object. Chitta, cetasika are always simultaneous. Sometimes, I think for many people, maybe quite often, their power of cognizing and bring the higher quality into those cognizing part is going to be not that strong enough. Say that they are good people, but they are becoming lazy on the next day, time to time. So it's not nice, because if you become lazy, most of the thoughts that are coming to you could be akusala thoughts. Then the Buddha said, Punyance puriso kaira, kaira te tam punappunang. When you do a good karma, don't stop at doing only one good karma. Keep doing, repeat doing it. Why? Tamhi chandang kairate suku punyasu. Lot of people, they lose interest, consistent interest in doing good karma, not one day. So engage in good karma all the time, continuously, so that you can dispel the laziness with regard to not doing good karma. So laziness is a problem. Buddha always talks about virya, energy is the biggest issue in many people's Dhamma practice. They know Dhamma, they go to viharas, they practice meditation, but time to time they expire in their virya. Why is it? The problem is what happened to Bhante Sona in the text. There was a monk called Bhante Sona. Sona was a very famous Veena player. He wanted to become a monk and attain Nibbana. Then ever since he became a monk, he was very hard on his practice. Do this, do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. His schedule was so packed up, and he thought by becoming a perfectionist in the Dhamma, he could attain Nibbana faster than anybody else. But as he practices too hard, he did not make himself to that certain point. Then he was thinking, I cannot make it happen. I better become a layperson back again, Veena player. So he told the Buddha his intention. I want to destroy, because this monkhood is not going to work for me. If I cannot meditate, if I cannot attain certain attainments, what is the purpose of becoming a monk? What is the purpose of being in a monkhood? Then the Buddha said, okay, let me ask you a question. See how the Buddha tackles these people, not say, hey, no, you can't go, stay here, you are a monk already. Okay, let me ask you a question. Before you became a monk, you were a famous, very popular Veena player. He said, yes, I am. Okay. What about your performances? When you perform in a concert, because you are a reputed player, Veena player, what if that at a certain point you are trying to tighten the strings of your Veena? Too much tightening. You are playing so hard, with the string so hard. Would you get the sonic nice performance with your Veena playing? He said, Bhante, no, in our performance we can't be too tight on the strings. What if that you are going to be too slack, too loose on the strings, barely touching the strings? He said, no, that's also not going to give us that nice sonic performance. What if that you are not tightly touching the strings, slackening on the, maybe trying to touch very loosely these strings? Would you get the nice sonic performance? He said, yes. Neither too hard nor too slacken, maybe loose. In the same way, Bhante Sona, don't try to be too hard in your Dhamma practice. Don't try to be lazy on your Dhamma practice. Find the between. Effortless effort. It's not effort. You feel you are effortful, but it's not an effort, but effortless effort. There's an effort going on, but effortlessly. You say, for instance, you are winning a game without any effort. What is it called? You are easily winning the game. You don't know that you are competing enough. Easily, nicely winning the game. You don't have to enjoy that much because you are already making that way. So in the Dhamma practice, we have to balance out our virya so that laziness will not take its opportunity. Always balance out. Participating in one retreat, Dhamma talk, not only enough. Keep doing. Many speakers, many Dhamma speakers. Keep doing that. That will help you to execute virya, energy, good virya. We call it right effort.
What part does Saddha play in this devotion, faith?
Saddha plays the fundamental part. Because of Saddha, you want to practice Dhamma, devotion and all that. So it is not even devotion actually. Saddha means the trust. Trust about the consistency of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. We have to have a consistent trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Some people, they believe about the Buddha Dhamma, especially Sangha, then they lose interest about one Sangha member and they want to paint everybody with the same brush after that. All Sangha members. If you only believe one Sangha member, good, nice, proper, if that person is going to go with some problems, you paint everybody else in the same. in the same brush. You don't have to. So, saddha means that while you are doing meditation, Noble Eightfold Path, you have to consistently maintain that your trust is not going to be broken at any time. Whatever happens in the temple, outside, internet, scandals, keep it. It's my saddha. If it is broken, it is a problem to me. It might not be a problem to internet, might not be a problem to media. It is my problem. I'm going to keep my saddha about the Buddha. Buddha is all the time same person to me. Dhamma, same time. But most people juggle with the Sangha members. So respect all the Sangha members. There may be issues. But I have the same trust about Sangha members. Because my reference to Sangha members are Sotapannas, Anagamis, Sakadagamis, Arahants. Way beyond normal.
What is your definition of Sangha member? Somebody who wears a robe, or is it deeper than that?
Okay, there are few interpretations. I think we discussed in the morning, Sangha is by default someone who has entered into Sotapanna and onwards.
Yeah, okay.
That's a Sangha, Arya Sangha. In that category, even the lay people can also become Sangha.
Yeah.
I remember that there was a story. Some monks went to take vassa in a temple far away, and then the lady who was supporting the Sangha members, she was very concerned about what the Sangha members are doing. She asked Bhante, can you also teach me what you are doing in the temple? Then they taught her. Then what happened? She became a Sakadagami before the monks. Right? So then she understood none of these monks are Sotapannas. So then every time they think about some food, she prepares the food next day. They were very scared now. Oh, she knows every thought that we are. We got to be very careful. We have to do it faster because she will catch our akusala thoughts in case. So they all became Arahants. Right? They all became Arahants. So then they came to see the Buddha. They said, Bhante, we became Arahant because of this lady. She was really concerned about us. Then there was one monk overheard this conversation. He said to the Buddha, Bhante, I want to go to that temple. Okay, you go then, if you want to go. Then he was really scared after that because every thought he thinks, I want to eat roti tomorrow, and she's making roti tomorrow. And then, oh, she's knowing everything. Then she came to the Buddha. He came to the Buddha. He said, Bhante, I cannot stay in that temple. No, you go back to the same temple. That is the place where you meditate. Then he went there. He also practiced. He attained Nibbana. So my point is that lay people can become Sangha members by attaining Sotapannas. You don't have to wear a robe. Visakha was a Sotapanna. Anathapindika was a Sotapanna. This lady was a Sotapanna. So Sangha, Arya Sangha, the true Sangha category will be for someone who attains Sotapanna. So any Sangha member, any monk who is wearing formal robes attain Sotapanna Sangha member. This is the main category. On the other hand, we have the robe wearing Sangha category. So that is the normal Sangha category that you are referencing for offer dana and all that. In that, those lay people cannot accept those things. So only bhikkhu bhikkhuni. That's how we take it. That's why in the Sangha interpretation of the Supatipanno, you never see bhikkhu Sangha, bhikkhuni Sangha. What is it said? Yadidang chattari purisa yugani, atta purisa puggala. Who are they? Sotapanna, someone who is on the way to become Sotapanna, someone who is already Sotapanna. On the way to Sakadagami, Sakadagami. On the way to Anagami, Anagami. On the way to become an Arahant, Arahant. Where are the bhikkhu wearing robe one? They are not there. Then how do we understand them? Then we assume that they are presumably practicing to attain Sotapanna. They are taken too. But the main Sangha interpretation taken with the attainments. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant.
So our problem is when we expect the Bhikkhu Sangha to behave like the Arya Sangha, and then when they don't, we get disappointed.
I think that is
and we judge.
Yeah, that is unnecessary because we cannot change sometime other people.
Yeah.
We expect we can maybe have a conversation if possible, but normal devotees, I don't think that should be their way to survive as a Buddhist. So maybe if there is a way you can approach, you will approach. Otherwise, you don't want to make a mess. It's better not to get affected by any of those things and continue your practice. That is the most important thing. Because we practice Buddhism to avoid disappointments. Why we get disappointments from these things? Yes.
Right at the back, somebody.
Good afternoon, Bhante. Victim has been kidnapped and currently been tortured until unconscious, and the family could not pay the ransom. So what karma is at play here? Who is responsible for the torture, in case the death of the victim?
Interesting.
Very interesting.
What kind of case is that? Kidnapping case. Kidnapping. Okay, so I think better to look at this issue from the Dhamma perspective. It's better to see what we are supposed to do now, involving the law enforcement for this issue, and then how to deal with these people. Now, sometimes these kidnappers asking ransom, but they already killed the person, asking the money. So the thing is that we have to first work in the way how to solve this. On the surface value. That's number one. Number two, why is this happening? Yeah, there may be some akusala kammas in the past which the victim may have done. Or maybe the victim may have done something unnecessary. The victim may have associated bad people, may have gone to a bad place. Say, for instance, now there are travel advisories. You should not travel to these places. There are some terrorists. There are some kidnappers living there. You might be kidnapped by anybody if you travel, but you taking the risk, you go there, you've been kidnapped, you thinking, my bad karma. What was the bad karma in that situation?
Bad decision.
Bad decision. So that is one thing. Sometimes even you are in a very safe place, you can be kidnapped. So you have to minimize how not to be kidnapped by these people. Sometimes it might be money, especially they are kidnapping because of reasons. So you can lower the conditions for kidnappers to kidnap. So we cannot say what exactly at that point. It could be a past karma. It could be a bad decision. That is how we have to look at it.
Bhante, what about the perpetrators? Would there be a payback or kind of thing? Because they seem to get away.
Definitely, perpetrators are paying a big cost for that. Yeah, this life or next life. Physically, mentally, emotionally, sansarically.
They seem to get away, but we see a lot of people in this life suffering innocently. Why? Maybe something is catching up with them.
Very true, yes. And I think over there.
Bhante and Uncle Vijaya, I would like to ask how the Devas or Bodhisattva play the role in karma. Is there any way that they do came, when we did a bad karma, for example, then they will come in, if we were to pray, to save or whatever lah. Is there a way where Bodhisattva or Deva, help in reducing the bad karma? Yep, thank you.
Okay. So the Bodhisattvas and Devas are not immune to the bad karma. So they are also going through bad karmas. Even Buddha had to go through certain effects from his past life. Arahants had to go through. But now you are asking whether we can seek any support from them. Yes, you may be. We know that Rukkha Devata, tree spirits, it is said that trees have devas, different type of lower devas. So we know there are a lot of examples where tree devas have helped people in Jataka stories. Remember one Jataka. In this Jataka, all the students in the Ivy League University, Takkasila, were informed by the teacher that if you can go back home and secretly steal something from your house and come back, and I'm gonna choose the first one who is bringing the stolen items. I'm gonna give my daughter to that boy. And boys were really mad, and then they ran to steal stuff from their houses. But one boy, he was very calmly waiting. He said, the teacher asked, didn't you listen what I told you? Yes, I did. But I think there is a problem. You said to go back home and steal something from our houses without letting our parents know, without letting other people know. But you cannot do any bad karma without having to being seen by the Rukka Devata, tree spirits. Even you lock the door, they can see what you are doing. So we know in another Jataka story, there was someone who was pushed to a problem, helped out by a tree Devata, Rukka Devata. That means they can help us. But assuming you are a good person, I think there are people who are saying, you are making it very cheap when you go to a parking spot. Today I got a parking spot. Maybe Deva helped me to get the parking spot. But going little something beyond than that, we understand Devas can help us in another narrow escape. Say, for instance, you are almost going to face an accident, but something may have happened. A narrow escape. Something must have happened. Maybe some of the devas are following you. So when you follow the Noble Eightfold Path, definitely lots of devas are following you. They know that you are making good karmas, exactly how the Buddha prescribed. So yes. But don't just do good karmas to get their support. That is not nice. That is demeaning you. So you do your good things, they will follow you, definitely.
Dhammo have rakkati dhammacharim. Those who live by the Dhamma, they are protected by the Dhamma. So the devas will come. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to get rid of samsara. Whether devas can help, that's a different question. That is our own effort.
And that's their wish.
And that's their wish.
That's their wish. Okay.
Afternoon, Bhante. Is there such a thing as the exhaustion of karma? And karma is to become, isn't it? And the third question is to become versus just to be. Could we have your perspectives on that, please? Thank you.
Yes, we can neutralize some karmas. That's what we've been talking. Let's say, what happened to Arahant Angulimala's bad karmas? They were neutralized. So there is a certain what you call karmas that can be void and defunct, exhausted because of doing more good karmas. You can do it. That's why we are doing more good karmas. So tiny little bad karmas can be neutralized mostly. I think in order to answer that question, we have to go to find heavy bad karmas, heavy good karmas, strongest bad karmas, worst karmas, and then the best karmas. So it's a good thing. If you go to Ratana Sutta, where is that mentioned? There's a place in Ratana Sutta we understand that Chachabhitanani ababbu katu. Remember? Chachabhitanani ababbu katu. Why you need to become a Sotapanna? When you become a Sotapanna, you are not eligible to commit 6 worse karmas. 6 to become. Abhabbu, ineligible. What are these 6 bad karmas? 6 worse karmas. We have to go to a sutta called Bahudhatuka Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, where Buddha talks about these 6 worse karmas. Killing mother, killing father, killing arahants, Buddha Buddha, making Sangha members in conflict, and then following a teacher who is not teaching you the way out of dukkha. following a teacher who is not telling you the way out of suffering, way out of dukkha. So if somebody is engaged in these 6 worst karmas, then that person will have to go through a lot of effects out of that. So when you become a Sotapanna, you will never do that. You will never ever do that. So that means on one hand, you understand the worst karma. And what are the best karmas? Dhamma danang sabba danang jinati. Talking about the Dhamma is the best dana. So from today onwards, then people will never come to the vihara and offer food to the monks. Say Dhamma dana. It's not like that. You have to keep going. Offer food dana. Also spread the Dhamma word. Sharing Dhamma. What are the other greatest good karma that you can do? What are they? Now you are engaging in the Noble Eightfold Path, but in that path you may create certain good karma. Katina is one of them. Katina ceremony is one of the greatest karma. Just because you want to do, you cannot do it. 1 year, 1 time. There are certain good karmas like that. Giving dana to the Sangha along with the Buddha, creating shelter, creating washrooms, writing Dhamma books, right? So there are 8 greatest karmas. So by way of practicing these greatest good karmas, you can neutralize bad karmas. So that's why in the sutta that you also asked me the other day, Lonapala Sutta, Buddha asked, somebody asked from the Buddha, Bhante, is there a way how we can neutralize our bad karma? The Buddha said, yes. It's like someone is to put a little amount of salt into a cup of water. What is happening to that cup of water? It will become saltish in a moment of time. What if someone is going to put the same amount of salt into the Ganges in India? Will the Ganges become salty in a moment? Volume of water is far more than the salt amount. In the same way, if you haven't done Sila Samadhi Panya in the way of Noble Eightfold Path, even a tiny small bad karma, even stepping on the ant will come back to you in a very bad way. But if you have done lots of Sila Samadhi Panya, tiny little karmas will be neutralized. So there is an exorcisation about karma. What's the next question you asked? The second part of the question?
It's my understanding of karma is its action, intent followed by action, and therefore you become something. But there is a view where you just be. So what are your views, what are your perspectives on becoming versus just being? And in relation to karma, does that exhaust as in not doing, as just being in the present?
No, karma is a transformation. You have to become. You have to become. You cannot take the default version of human activities to take it as a good person. We have to become. We have to transform every day, every moment. So that is what the Buddha says. Even neutralization, also becoming. That means you are going to purify yourself. And then let's say you haven't done a lot of bad karma, you want to intensify, also becoming, transforming. I think transformation. In other XYZ places, there is no transformation, but with regard to the karma, there is a huge transformation that must happen throughout.
So when you attained Arahanthood, then can you say at that point you move from become to be?
Yes, at that point you don't need to transform. Yes, then that question is going to be relevant when you become an Arahant, because then you don't want to become anybody at that point. Yes.
So that's above, where you are incapable.
Yeah, definitely. By default, incapable.
Bhante,
Yes.
good afternoon. Further to your earlier clarification regarding clearing of bad karma, this title also lends itself to a common advertisement in social media that there are certain pujas or religious ceremonies or procedures, usually within the Buddhist community, that you can, shall we say, nullify any bad karma that we have, and whatever remains is only good karma. Is that possible?
You know, after this early Buddhism, along the line, Theravada came in, then Mahayana groups came in, Vajrayana came in. Now there are different other movements going on. I'm not going to criticize anybody. That's not my role. There are different people who are trying to do things differently. Now, there are lots of rituals have come up for this same purpose. Now, we picked up the original Buddhist suttas to talk about this, but they have their own rituals to do it. So it is up to you. You decide what you want. And early suttas never say with a ritual you can nullify, you can make your karmas, bad karmas void. But the intention seems to be good, even their intention. They also believe that it is possible. But the way how they do it is not mentioned in the early sutras. So that's what we can.
Also, I don't think they ever do it for free.
It's a business, yes, yes. And the nice thing is we made it free today.
Yeah.
For the 2 days.
Bhante, you were talking about attitude. We have to repent, acknowledge, and then have patience and then forgiveness. So when we have bad karma ripening, say for example sickness or things are not going smoothly, so we have to do both the attitude as well as doing the kusala deeds. Is that so? Can Bhante elaborate more on this?
I think before we think about what to do, we have to first understand why is my sickness happening? Is it regarding my past life or maybe a poor decision I made about it? Say for instance, you becoming obese, you getting diabetes, on the way to become your borderline, and you may be getting some blood pressure. Is it because my father, mother had the blood pressure? Is it a generational chain? Or it is my own poor decisions with regard to my lifestyle? So we have to mend that at that point first, before we label it as a bad karma. I think most of the things, we go back to our default question, most of the experiences we have in life, they are not regarding past life. Most of them. Because think about, we became humans, that means we must have done a very, very giant jumbo kusala in the past, a jumbo one. That's why we have to be very happy about it. Now, why we go back again and then blame our bad karma? Perhaps if it is coming from the generations, yes, it could be, we cannot avoid. But there are a lot of things we make us to become as such. So first we approach the problem in that way, in our decision way, in our approach. Then you think that, no, it's not something I did, I cannot avoid it. Then only we are bringing it to that understanding, the methodology I taught you in the morning. Otherwise, don't label it on the spot that this is a bad karma I may have done. I will probably end this with a story, a real story. Someone in Canada, in a place I stayed, she rented a car with her daughter, and while she was waiting in the traffic light, suddenly the accelerator was pushed down and she smashed onto a a bus stop. And then she was severely wounded, and some of the tiny pieces of the glass went into the stomach of daughter. Now we went to bless her in the hospital, and then the husband was talking to me. He was telling me, Bhante, we were both thinking together, in a past life we must have had a rancher where we had broken the legs of some animals, pigs and all these animals. So that's why my wife got into this problem. So we think it's a bad karma. We've broken the legs of these tiny animals, pigs and those animals. like this. Then I said, how many years you been in Canada? 15 years. So just for one of these incidents, you call that you broke the legs of other animals and you became as such. Don't label it as a bad karma in the first place. And they found out the car that they used, the car got a problem. It's not her problem. So sometimes these things can happen. Don't try to rush to label it as a bad karma. So embrace, lot of things can be changed in our this life. Uncle Vijay, if you have something to share, you haven't shared and you all put everything to me. So please.
There's nothing more to add. Many times the Buddha was listening and he asked the monk to explain. And then the monk said, perfect. Buddha said, perfect. I have nothing more to add. I'm not suggesting anything by the way.
Okay, maybe any more questions?
But any more questions or it's almost time? Maybe one last question?
I think two. We'll finish with two. Not many more.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. I wanted to ask about, is it only important for karma to have intention or results of action as well? Like, for example, if you take like one businessman who, for example, supports surgeries for kids and he saves their lives, but he does it for satisfy his ego and for other people to respect him. Will he get, bad karma or good karma based on his action, or it's more based on his intention?
Perhaps you will answer.
Sorry, I couldn't get
maybe you rephrase the question in short again.
Okay. Yeah, so for example, we take a businessman who provide money for children's surgeries, basically to save their lives. But he does it for other people to respect him and to satisfy his ego. So is it like bad karma or good karma for him?
Good karma for the child, certainly, because he gets some money and he's good for him. No, if you do something good, doesn't matter what the intention is, if you do something good, the result will, yes, be good. But if there is ego, selfishness, self-interest involved in that, then of course that's bad karma. So what appears as a good karma can also be directed by bad karma. All right? So we have to be very careful when we judge people even. When we judge people, whatever is going on in his mind, we don't know. But in this case, if you say that he did it for his own ego, for his own betterment, then that's bad karma. But the action he did had good results. So that's good. So he'll get 50-50.
Okay, thank you very much.
Was that right?
Yeah, at the same time, we have to appreciate this gentleman who is doing it for whatever the reason. Maybe if we can help him out in a nice way, we can help him out to sort of, address this issue. Otherwise, we have to appreciate. There are many people who are having ulterior motives when they are doing even the good things, right? Yeah. But for that person, it might be a problem. Yeah.
Bhante, how this karma is registered, calculated, and based on that validation, the punishments or the credit or assign?
Ask Elon Musk. No, because I don't think there is that kind of a computer generated. I think this is the working of karma. That's why it's so complex and so difficult to say 1 = 2, right? That we have to understand a lot of the workings of the teaching of the Buddha and the commentaries before we can come up with answers. But I think no one has definitive answers, and there is no one reply to this question.
To answer this question, we have to go to a sutta called Achinteya Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya 4th section. Buddha said, none of us should think too much about 4 subjects. One is the Buddha. Don't think too much about him. If you think too much about him, you become mentally sick. Too much, overthink. Then karma. also related to today. Because we don't have to think too much, just do it. And then third is chitta. Don't think too much about the chitta. Fourth is loka. Is there a world after this, universe? How long is it? How far is it? How wide is it? So I think, I know people are interested about these questions, but it's not necessary for our Dhamma practice. Because Buddha has left some of the unnecessary questions, so it's not necessary. We just engage in our practice.
Actually, Bhante, for the real things which I have come across in my life, so I wanted to ask this question. Because to say, like, before I come to Malaysia, before 6 years ago, most of my colleagues advised me not to go to Malaysia because I'll be cheated and so on, not to trust or anything. But like, I'm staying alone here for 6 years. I used to go everywhere alone. I never faced any problem. But when I went to Singapore for 2 days, I was about to lose my handphone. You know, and the lady was dressed up very neatly, nicely. She looked so pretty, but I caught her. But I didn't hand over to the police, but I caught her. When I checked her bag, she got 6 phones, and one is mine. And she knows that is my phone. And I asked her before checking her phone, she said she didn't see my phone. So the story was different. But whereas recently a lady who traveled from India to Malaysia, she was about to take the flight the same day, but she fell inside the
sinkhole.
The sinkhole.
In Majestic. So people said, like, that's because of her karma, she has come here and got into such a situation and so on. So just was wondering whether what I did so that I'm getting protected so far, even I'm staying alone. And yeah, that's it. Maybe I overthink or not, but I just related this with the karma, so I just wanted to ask Bhante. Thank you, Sadhu.
It's an ongoing process, I think, because the government is still searching, I think, certain things. I think they have even implemented to give a geotechnical report.
Yes,
I think next time if you create those places. Anyway, so we don't know. We cannot brand it, label it from karma. Probably the bad place, wrong conditions. But finally, she had to pay for it. She passed away. Also, they couldn't find the body as well, right? So the tragedy seems to us definitely from a past karma. But there may be other conditions that may have affected. So we cannot exactly, pinpoint. This was definitely for the part of karma. Yeah. I think almost the timing. Yes. So we will. Uncle, you can conclude.
Yeah. Brothers and sisters, I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Partly because I think sitting here I had no chance to sleep. But that's not true. That's not true. The answers were so profound and so far-reaching that I think it went a long way. And I think we had a different take on karma. And like the sister, like I told the sister, the last sister who spoke, karma is so vast, so complex. Like Bhante said, only a Buddha can really put his mind to it. Anybody else trying to put your mind to it is wasting your time. And because that's not what the Buddha is all about, not understanding this, that, and the other. Do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. That has nothing to do with going for courses. All right? And so I hope we take this back with us, and as Bhante kept telling us, we have to go back and reflect on this. Not enough just to receive and keep it there. Reflect and put it into practice. And even if a little bit of effect is there, then I think that's what we should. Then this retreat has been a success. If it has transformed you, if it has changed you. But if you can just put it down to another activity in your life, that's a waste of time. Okay? So with that, I thank Bhante for having come all the way, for having spent so much time with us, not only this trip, but many other trips as well. We hope his health will be with him and he will be able to serve the Buddha Sasana always. Sadhu, sadhu.
At the same
Thank
time,
you,
we
Bhante.
wish you to continue supporting, showing up in these events. We wish you good health
Thank you,
and
Bhante.
happiness all the time. I will pass the mic over to Brother Leslie to conclude this event. And may all the good karmas we created be supportive and helpful to attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I think I have nothing much to say. I think both Bhante and Uncle Vijay had said it all. I'll just say a big sadhu to both of them. Sadhu, sadhu. Uncle Vijay, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
I know you have indulged into your sleeping time, your afternoon nap. But we really appreciate the fact that you took time to come and spend time with us here at the retreat. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante, as well. And now we will just take, I think, a 15-minute break.
Yeah, rest. Now we are taking a
Yeah.
rest, 15 minutes. Please be here by 2:50 for the meditation, sitting meditation, please.